because this is a private function. I don't think I'll be able to speak much. I just here to say and thank God in the house of worship, who blessed me with Cedric. Cedric was my only son, as you heard, and my friend. Those who are close to my family know my friendship with Cedric. I virtually actually grew up with Cedric. As you heard, that we had Cedric very young, and we lived out of this country at the time. And somebody said, I think yesterday, that there are no lessons for parenting. So I virtually taught myself to nurture Cedric, because in our culture, when the woman gets a baby, normally the parents come around and help them to, especially first-time mothers, how to nurture a baby. But unfortunately for me, I did not have my parents in Kenya at the time, and I really did not that I didn't have them. At that time, they were still alive, but because of the situation that was in Uganda at the time, I was alone with Sidi. I called him Sidi, and I had a spiritual name for him, Gahungu. Gahungu in Kinyarwanda means a young man, or a baby. And Cedric was my Gahungu, my everything, my friend. When I'm sad, Cedric will be the first one to know. When I'm happy, he was the first person to know. A lot of things have been said about Cedric. And honestly, if there was a stamp, actually, that stamp said that Cedric is what you've had since yesterday. He was kind, was loving, not only to his wife and the boys, but his sisters. Very, very much. And his cousins. Allow me to ask all the cousins of Cedric, from Rwanda, from Uganda, from other places, just to stand up. And can you please stand up? Cedric's cousins, wherever you are, please stand up. And now when Cedric was taken ill, I was in Malaysia with Susan Muhezi, on duty, and many other people. And I was told that Cedric wasn't well, had flown to Kigali for Kirian's tennis tournament. But I could not imagine that he was actually that ill that he couldn't pass away. It never crossed my mind. From Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, I was supposed to travel another country, but I deleted the ticket. I remember having arrived in Entebbe on a Saturday. Sunday morning, I booked a flight to Kigali. The morning flight actually I missed because I was a bit late. I took the afternoon flight. And I found Cedric in the hospital in King Faisal, Kigali. Thanks to my family in Kigali who was looking after him. Dr. Kabiruka, I was thanking Frank, Josefa, Dawn, many of you who were in Kigali, including family, friends, and other members. I want to appreciate you because you are the first people who tried to come to his rescue when he was taken ill. I want to thank you, Dawn, because he was your doctor, Dr. Sam, and I want to thank for him, that treated him, that actually discovered the problem Cedric had. He had had heart failure, and I can tell you as a mother that I had never seen Cedric in hospital. He was never a sickly person. He was full of energy, he was strong. And so they told me the seriousness of his sickness, but you can't believe it, I still had hope that Cedric we'll pull through. To cut this very short, they did what they could. Eventually they referred us to Nairobi, and with the friends in Kampala, in Kenya, my sons, where are you? Kasuja, Costa, Humphrey, where are you? Simon, there are two Simons. One Simon is not here, Simon is not here, who was actually his best man, and many others. And they facilitated us to take Cedric to Nairobi. I flew with him from Kigali on air endurance, and it was 2 hours flight because it's small aircraft. I was horrified. I didn't think I'd make it to Nairobi. I kept asking the medical people we had on board, but I could see the oxygen levels and all those things. Well, okay, we were talking. I was talking to Cedric. And with God's grace, we landed in Nairobi. We found his sister Siki, who lives in Nairobi. Siki, where are you? She's here. She had prepared with a can to receive us. The rest will get here when time is right. What I want to tell you is that I thank God. And that's why I said what I want to thank God for having blessed me with Cedric. And I'm happy that he's left behind Amani, Kilian, Shema, in you Cedric lives. You know how much my dad, you know, he was my friend, and I know how much he cared for you. I will try to do what I can to support you. Together with your aunties and uncles, you cannot be Cedric, cannot be your father, but you know that you are loved and always be loved. Come home every Sunday, because I know sometimes you don't want to eat proper food, you want to eat junk food. But we can always order Kentucky Fried Chicken, and we share it. So mothers in this who are seated here, you know what it means. The pain a mother goes to have a baby, and losing a baby, losing a child, I call it criminal. It's criminal losing a child, a man, a woman of that age. It's extremely heavy. I keep saying it's heavy, it's heavy, it's heavy. And I think it's one time I was telling someone at a Khan hospital that at some point I lost my faith. I must confess this in the church. And I was like, God, why are you taking away my son? We watched Cedric go and go and go. His vitals fading one by one, with his sons, with his father, with his sisters. What I can tell you is that Cedric went well knowing that he was loved, not only his family, but his friends, who were also in Nairobi, and by the way, who flew in, coming to see Cedric. Even those who came to Kigali, when you actually thought it was just that he was going to get better, but they still came. I thank and miss him. Thank you.
We deeply apologize. We are constrained of time. The next Mass is coming in anytime from now. At this juncture, let us all stand up, and the choir gives us the last song. On behalf of the Uganda Services to